Hello again, everyone. Come on, 1992 here, and it is time for the Kate Bishop update video. So I'll talk about her raid progression with champion points, specialty mastery, any sort of changes and adjustments to that. I'll get into her gear and what has changed, and I'll give you a little demonstration of how I get into uh, getting her damage ramped up because of her intrinsic passive, the damage buff I have in her kit, and yeah. So I'll start with showing you the artifacts. She's also running the Sacred Nornstone of Lethal Will. This is huge because it's again increasing your damage buff duration, and it stacks on top of the damage buff. So this is huge. Um, Looking at the ISOs again, similar to my explanation in that Miss Marvel video, the ISOs raise your rating higher than anything else, especially when you have a triple version. It took me a while to get her triple precisions. Actually, I had to farm a lot in the open world to get them. Vendors were not selling them; they kept selling doubles, which was unfortunate. But I finally found those two triple precisions, and again, I plan to never let these go if I have anything to say about it. So because of upgrading one of them to 150, I'm now sitting at 5,000 range damage base, which is pretty crazy considering I have two damage buffs I can activate to raise that even higher. I will show you that highest number stat later on in the video. I'm still running this charm heroic exotic that I had from my last video. I don't plan to get rid of this anytime soon. That quantum precision perk is too good, and I'm a big fan of that decoy lasting longer and the increased damage from quantum surge. So if you can get this from the heroic hive gauntlet, keep it and never let it go. It seems to me like it's the best heroic piece she'll have for a while. The drops that have been in the raid, the discordant gear, I'm not a fan. They seem to dip my range damage down very low, and the perks just don't seem worthwhile. I know people are riding the wave of Sonic and Vibranium, but you can benefit from Sonic damage with that receiver perk from someone else and still keep all your base damage. So whenever you get into battery, you're going to be doing more than that person because you're still getting into battery without giving away any of your highest damage output. So something to think about. Discordant Guard. This is a piece I actually did swap out whenever I was in the raid, and I mainly grabbed it because it was raising my range damage. The resist from Vibranium attack is pretty good, but this my Kate Bishop is very much a glass cannon. You can see her defense is not even at the thousands. For the most part, if I get hit, I'm in trouble, which is why I try to stay moving and stay in the zone of my decoy and typically out of the fight in the back line, shooting as much as possible. So that's pretty much all I grabbed this for, raising my range rating. I'm still rocking with this Pim arrow. You'll notice I got rid of some of the other ones I was carrying in the last video, or actually all of them, and it's because this Pim one was showing superior damage output, and the other ones just weren't keeping up or they were underperforming. So I was like, I think it's time to let these ones go. And if I see any ones dropping in higher rolls, which I have seen some that dropped pretty close to the damage output this one's doing, but not quite. That's why I'm still sitting with this Pim one. I do like pimming the enemies as a status effect. I like that 46.5% damage buff that is coming off of this. That's a pretty good chance as long as I get that range critical. And again, that range pieces was raising my rating as high as possible. For my gear piece for melee, this was also something I decided to grab just because it was raising my range rating. I almost never melee on this character. I simply just grabbed this piece just to boost my range rating. So whatever will give me the highest rating possible. If there are some good perks in there that aren't too bad to acquire, like maybe melee criticals give you a Jarvis barrier, I may do that, but for the most part, I probably won't. So most of her gear hasn't changed that much. There's nothing that really stands out to me for like, oh, you absolutely must farm this. If there was anything like that, this is an old piece of gear. Any of you that are familiar with that 3,900 plus range damage build video with Kate Bishop, this is still one of those same arrows I had in that video. Same thing with this heroic piece of gear. These two are worth looking for, but other than that, the other two is just it's just filler to get your range rating high. So again, this one is in the Mega Have. I think you can also get it in Priority Mission that resets every Thursday. This is an open world drop. You can get it just about anywhere. You just gotta keep farming. And for the ISOs, again, these are also in the open world. It sucks, but if you keep trying, you will eventually find these. And when you get them, don't let them go. Uh, for her overall stats, she has 3,179 range damage. Crit chance is sitting at 27%. Perk chance at 33%. Crit damage 317. And her assault heroic is the highest for cooldown at 24.1%. I actually kind of prefer this to my ultimate. My ultimate has become more of a situational thing. If I have a lot of room to work, perhaps like I have a tank or just I have very low aggro at the time, then I'll use my ultimate in conjunction with my buffs because you can hit some pretty insane crit damage if you hit that headshot. But for the most part, I like that my assault heroic is the highest because setting up those singularities is amazing for clearing the hallway or just ad controlling and the various objectives that you have to complete in Discord and Sound, or just when you're running through the Hive Gauntlet, just trying to melt those hallways as fast as possible. Let's jump into her skills. Uh, for specialty, nothing has changed at all. I actually haven't changed anything on mastery either. I will leave this here so people can look at it in case they want to copy it over. If there was one thing that I could suggest whenever you are doing Discord and Sound, when you're going to the A path to cleanse the corrupted vibranium, you could run Wormhole to teleport teammates that aren't able to fly across. Just be careful how you shoot it because they may get stuck in a loop of falling off the cliff. Um, but yes, it is very helpful for transporting teammates through that portion. But for the most part, Singularity, very optimal, all purpose, Assault Heroic, pretty decent damage, even though we're not Valor based. And it sets up explosive shot moments and scatter shot moments. For the masteries, again, nothing at all has changed. I don't plan on changing anything. I thought about jumping back in here to look to see if anything does need to be tweaked or adjusted, but there hasn't been any patches that have really changed Kate Bishop or how her damage flows, so this is all still the same. Her champion point progression has been coming along pretty nicely. She's just about done. This is a glass cannon build, so I'm very uninterested in anything defensive over here. I may put some points into armor just to lower the odds of her getting completely one-shotted whenever I guess I'm dealing with claw or those echoes that can permanently CC you when you're screaming at you. Those seems to be the most dangerous things for me in the raid right as of this point with her. But for the most part, if you can stay away and position well, you don't even need the defense. Um, and if you believe like I do that they're going to update our champion trees, hold on to those extra champ points, and uh, that way you'll have a head start on everybody else whenever those trees do get released. Or sorry, if they get released, I should say. The last two things you see that I'm working on here is the heroic charge rate. I just want to increase the chances of me getting my singularity. That's peel for me. My decoy gives me health packs and it gives my teammates 35% armor as long as they're in the zone. And then my ultimate, of course, which is a flat damage increase, especially when you're going for headshots. So that's also nice. Perchance, I absolutely want this. I'm actually going to grab this before I grab my heroic charge rate because I want to get into my damage buff as quickly as possible. When I'm spamming out those scatter shots to get headshots, or if I switch to my razor arrow. So once these two things are done, that to me is the most essential things on Kate Bishop. That is the range damage, crit chance, stun and status, heroic charge rate, and perk chance. Those are the most optimal things that she needs, champion point stats to make her the most optimal Kate Bishop that is ranged in this game. So at this point, I will spawn some ads and show you what her damage buff, what her range stat is at once I get the damage buffs going. We'll go ahead and drop some enemies that are good for proccing this. These should be sufficient. All you gotta do is hit the headshots. We'll just switch to scatter and just keep firing them off. Okay, good. So we already hit it. So with the damage buff alone, 7,819 range damage. That's pretty crazy, especially when you think about how like this scales versus melee. Then activate your Nornstone on top of that. She is sitting at 10,235 range damage. This is a lot. This is a whole lot of damage. I need to get another attempt at a speed run in discordant sound with her. I was debating on waiting another week to upload this video, but I know people seem to love the 3,900 plus video so much. I wanted to get another one out there to show that I was very much still working on Kate, and I did have a video in the pipeline for you guys. Her range is now 10,235 whenever everything is rolling and sitting at 5k base. This is super impressive because she's not even 160 yet. I have run everything for her this week. The only reason she isn't 160 this week is because the very first raid drop day, I only beat OLT on Kate because it was too late. I actually stayed up super late that night because that first run was awful. It was like 4 hours, 4 hours long. Funny, 4 hours to 54 minutes is crazy. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up the Kate Bishop video. There will be another video coming out for her when she hits 175. That'll be a little later than Miss Marvel because she's a week behind, and I like to run my stuff legitly. I might just upload a video where she's 174, because the tick or the increasing your stats from 174 to 175 won't be anything super crazy. It'll probably be like 30 to 50 extra range damage, if that. So keep an eye out for that upload. Keep checking in on the videos, guys. I appreciate the support. Thank you guys again for letting that Kate Bishop video hit 1,200 views, I believe it's at now. That's awesome, guys. I really appreciate the love and the support. If you have any questions about any of the new builds, the Kamala one I'm going to upload and this Kate Bishop one right here, let me know. If there's things that you've been doing that you think are working better, sound off in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. I do post links to the videos there as well, and very much would like to communicate with people on there, or just on PlayStation. Yeah, just add my gamer tag, come on 1992, if you ever need help with running raids or getting OLT runs done. Because once I'm loot locked, that's pretty much all I do. I'll just sit here and champion point grind and help out other people. That is it, guys. I will catch you all in the next video.